Hi guys, and how are y'all today? I tell you what, I'm finally getting around here and Tony Talks Trash here about Stevie, the song list. I tell you the truth, man, I avoided it for a while, and then after I did it, I'm just scratching my head because like I think I've alluded to in my videos, some of the it's something like when I talk about Todd and I may talk about some of Zappa stuff. I'd say those records of Stevie Wonder's were some of the ones that I most marinated in my life, and I'm talking about Intervision, fulfillingness, and then and of course Innervations, of course. I mean, I must have played those like nonstop. I mean, those records were really important. Not so much contemporaneously. I think I got on kind of the end of it album wise, but I always bought all the singles when I was a kid. And I noticed that when I ran through the line, there's a lot of singles that suggest himself. And in some places I went for the singles, and some places I went for my favorites. Well, I always went for my favorites, but I'm saying sometimes, there's maybe less Captain Obvious picks than maybe some people in this. And that's not to say that I don't like it. I mean, um, in all these, we start off, what are we going to do? I guess the default on some of these legacy artists is maybe 20 or 25, 10 for some of the ones that had a little bit of a slimmer catalog or one less, dependent on particular tunes or where it's maybe difficult or one where they had longer tunes. But in this one, man, I had 50 to start off with, actually. And I just had, I think of the raw picks out of it, I think I had 52 was what it was, something like that. And I was like, I can't make it 50 and I can't make it 40. It's just a bit much. And I started to look down to it. And then I thought 20, okay, 20 or 25. But somehow I ended up at 30. So um, anyway, that's where I ended up with a lot of these records too. It's something like Music of My Mind. That was a record that I came into later on. But what a great album, and what a fantastic thing. But let's get down to this. We've got 30 to count down through here. These songs don't take super long when we don't have two of us on here. And I'm just doing this one solo today. We'll get my brothers back in on some of that. Also want to fill you in a little bit on the record. We're going to have a record party, I think, tentatively in May, maybe down at the Kaiser Coffee House. Keep an eye for you guys local to see this. Keep an eye on that if this gets here before. Get yourself down there. It's not a celebration of anything, of any of the artists or me or the guys there making it or anything, but it's just kind of a celebration of Kaiser itself. It's kind of a Kaiser had 150th celebration. We missed it. We wanted to hit that and we didn't quite. But again, I think I've told you enough about this, and some of the bumper music you're going to hear here is from that new recording. But anyway, that's what's going on with that. Love and peace. And let's get back to somebody who really knows what they're doing, Stevie. Number 30, I'm going to go with Keep On Running. That's one of my favorites of Music of My Mind. I love that whole period. That whole Sarita period where he first came in to play with her and things just kind of took off. And for number 29, let's go to Fulfilling This First Finale. And we're going to go to Smile Please. Just a great album track. I think I heard it on Soul Radio some in DC, that one. But some of the stuff like I have on here, I heard on a lot of airplay. Some of these things, even though despite maybe not being singles, they were records that did get a lot of airplay. And especially when I was living in DC, I used to listen to almost exclusively all the African American or oriented owned stations, the inner city stations. I used to listen to Donnie Simpson all the time. And, they just got so many great soul. Same thing in Philadelphia, man. The soul stations in Philadelphia were just out of it. But I like the ones that were owned locally, the ones that were owned by the people, the original ones that started off, not the ones that have been co-opted by the same. You got a lot of deep ones in D.C. and Baltimore, man. It's some great stuff. But let me tell you something, man. I could just, if I was there, I'd have radio on all the time. I don't know if I'd buy as many records. I'd be listening to that all the time. To number 28, let's go to Black Orchid from the great Secret Life of Plants. Certainly not a typical Stevie thing. I think of Instrumental Beauty here. One of the real outs there from that record. I think there were a couple that were there. Of course, you can see why. It's not pop oriented. It's a completely different thing. It's like I don't know. I think I described it before in the other things, like a music, like a soundtrack for the ears. Except it's so picturesque. It's It's just beautiful, though. At number 27, I am going to go with the fantastic Hotter Than July's single. I think it was a later single. Maybe it was a radio play lately. Used to love that track, man. I used to play. That was one of the ones I had in my. I got a cutout CD. I think I had it in my car, and actually one of the ones that got stuck in there. I think it was. I did the same thing with the Marvin with the cassette. It seems to me like I'm always listening to soul stuff in the car. And when they break, that's always a soul when it needs to get fetched out of there. Let's go to Songs in the Key of Life, number 26. Here's a Captain Obvious. Isn't she lovely? But it is a beautiful song. Really just fantastic Stevie harmonica solo too. Just really highlighting the best of what he is. There's a certain joy to that record, as you all know. That's and there's a joy to that whole period, that whole magic period. There was a period there, 4 or 5 records in a row, where he was just like untouchable to me. To me, he was the top artist. To me, he was operating at the top of his game at that point. And it's a shame. It's a shame, but yeah, I love the other one with Sarita, written to close out the classic record, I believe. So talking about the end of the last track, I believe. When I fall in love, I'll fall in love forever. Certainly bigger hit for somebody later, but the version on that, there's just magic in that writing, and it's no wonder why his composition with Sarita there really eclipsed anything she did. But was just really was wow, just an absolute killer. But anyway, it's the closer there. We've got Fun Day at number 24 from the soundtrack of Jungle Fever. Really just a beautiful. And the only reason I'm saying it, some people are annoyed by it. If you don't like Stevie Wonder, you don't like those big, thick seventh chords that he has, those big block chords. This is fun. The way he sings those harmonies like that, I love it. To me, it's wonderful. You can tell he knows about the Four Freshmen. He knows about the Beach Boys. He knows about the history of vocal music. He certainly knows the gospel music and the wonderful stuff. Man, I've been getting into a lot of the Crouch stuff lately. Really, Andre Crouch and just incredible stuff. The whole family, mind blowing. Some of those records on Warner Brothers are almost like funk records. Number 23, one of the old singles, but undeniable. Baby, everything is all right. Number 23, Uptight from album of the same name. Now I'm going to stay with Captain Obvious for number 22 and dun 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 dun. Dun. The Fender Rhodes classic, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. From Talking Book, of course, the great Talking Book, the fantastic Talking Book. Number 21, I'm going to go with one of the more modern songs, and I think one of the most recent ones I have in here. As you know, my opinion, some of the modern stuff fell off a little. Still really good music, but he hit such a peak there before it's hard to beat. I'm talking about From Characters, number 21, You Will Know. I think it's best song on the record. Really good. We are talking about number 20. Another co-write. Think of Me as Your Soldier. Just a deep song. But it's from the great Where I'm Coming From. Again, that whole bunch of songs written with Sarita, just really, really, really great. Number 19, the single everybody knows about it, but from the great record, the one that I'll never get over. It strikes deep. It hits something deep in me harmonically that I never forgot, and that's Don't You Worry About a Thing from the great revolutionary to me, Intervisions. Let's go to number 18, a song everybody knows. I guess I'm being a little Captain Obvious here after all, but from Songs in the Key of Life, with a song up to the King of Washington, D.C., the king of really, well, the city that I love the most. I guess I love Pittsburgh a lot, but I'd say if all the cities, if I had to say what's the city I love and I know the most, I spent the most time in, it would be Washington, D.C., no question. I lived in the area for a long time. I love it. I still love going down there. I just like it. I feel at home there anytime I have to go to a show or I have to go down there for work or anything. Really, really, really fantastic. And that's from Songs in the Key of Life. Let's look at the last song from the great instrumental masterpiece, Songs Secret Love of Plants, and that's Out the Beautiful, beautiful outside my window. That is, to me, that is one of the great songs from that. You know, I understand if some people say, well, it doesn't have a place in here. Really, it does kind of competes on a new age. If you put that with new age or you put it with a different kind of an artist kind of thing, it would excel. But it really was way ahead of its time. And it just jumped out of the genre was all. Kind of like Metal Machine music did, but I shouldn't say that, but in a different way, completely different way, if you know what I mean. It's kind of a funny joke for you people that know their Lou Reed. Number 16, a title track for Once in My Life. It's just a beautiful song. It's almost turned into a standard. Sometimes you hear some people sing that a lot. Some of these talent contests and stuff. It's really good. Let's go back to Innervisions for number 15 and number 14, two back to back. I'm talking about Too High, Too High, Too High, fantastic. And then number 14, the song of the Red Hot Chili Peppers turned into kind of an anthem for that era too. I guess the 90s rock. I'm talking about Higher Ground, man. It's really great. People, their version's not great. You know who would have done that great would have been somebody like Hendrix. Hendrix would have just ripped that up. It's kind of a Hendrix-y thing, isn't it? Anyway, number 13, let's go for me, the highlight of Hotter Than July, and that's the great Master Blaster. Man, you used to hear that blasting from all the beatboxes all the time. That was about the time they had I had one too. Everybody had one. They had those available on every block. It was everybody's modem of. Then they adapted them with the CD players. It became a little bit portable a few years later. Just funny out there playing basketball. I was one of the fools in D.C. that did, man. I used to play down in. Actually, my friend John and I used to play down in. I remember he hurt his leg really bad down there playing with Daryl Green in Vienna. We used to play down there at the big park in Vienna, not too far from my house when I lived in Fairfax. He would come over and we used to love to play basketball there. It was fun. And then he got hurt and it was, but we still played, but it was interesting. A number of the Redskins played over there. I don't think they were supposed to. They'd have probably gotten hurt or something. They got in trouble. But Daryl was competed, man. I wasn't one of the better players. I was an also-ran, I guess, there at the time. Just come to hold your own on the board sometimes because they weren't real tall. But let's get back to this, man. Let's get back to this. But anyway, that was the time when everybody had the competing beatboxes. I remember because we were playing and one of them had to shut it off. They were arguing who was going to shut theirs off. And they had one playing. Okay. Let's go to the number 12. Now we're getting really down to it. From Talking Book, You and I. That's the underrated, severely underrated. You don't hear anybody talk about that track. It's just a wonderful composition to me. It gets me every time I hear it. Something about the progression. Nevertheless, that's it. But and I'm going to go back to the older days for "Never Had a Dream Come True," which is probably the oldest song, oldest highest ranking that I have on here. Just something else, man. Just something in the delivery, something in how it's done. Let's go to another one, Songs in the Key of Life, which I feel is underrated now too. This is kind of my Tony picks the odd obscure things, but I think Ordinary Pain. I think that track is a super underrated track. And to me, the lyrics are just right. I think some people think maybe the lyrics are a bit much. I like it. I love it. And it's what made my top 10. Number 9, the title track from the song the Beach Boys covered in 1967, I Was Made to Love Her. In fact, the Beach Boys covered it almost contemporaneously on Wild Honey. It came out They had to have recorded as soon as it was released because this was released in 1967 as a single, maybe right before that. It was released in early '67, and by the end of '67, it was on Wild Honey, the second Beach Boys record of that time. They really loved Stevie Wonder, and has really done well. Let's go to number 8, another underrated one, "Bird of Beauty" from FFF. I think the beauty of the song shines through. Decide for yourself, but of all the catalog tracks, this is one of the ones that I think is overlooked, as is number 7, the only one selection I have from In Square Circle, even though I like the record okay. I think the general public tends to rag it a little bit, but it is a little polished at something. I'm a big boy now. You remember that song? What is it, Land of La La or something? Was a big. I'm not about Overjoyed, the one where he had the leaves playing percussion, literally like crunching leaves in his finger, and had a waterfall as the music for it. A beautiful acoustic song. Just this lyrics. Da 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 na 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 na. I just think it's beautiful. Oh, overjoyed. I just think the chord changes are beautiful. I think the dynamics are beautiful. The way the strings are put in. I think it's a beautiful melody. I think it's great. They're underrated. Number 7. Number 6, off where I'm coming from. Another one of the Sarita compositions. If you really love me. You just tell something loosened up there with him. There's just something happened there that where a little bit of confidence happened, and it was like, I don't have to worry about these little things anymore. You could kind of feel like he was steering in the lines before that, but there kind of was a blowing open, and I hand it to Sarita for being the one that kind of escorting that into play, more so than what I admitted when I did the album countdown. I will tell you, I think it was a big thing. Number 5, I think is one of the most daring songs ever made by popular artists. Is "You Haven't Done Nothing." FF from FFF, the scathing thing against the Nixon politics, the right wing politics at the time. When you talk about what counts, you may think you've done this, you may think you've done that, but sometimes greed is not the answer. Sometimes bullying people that are good friends of yours is not what everybody has in mind. That's not. I don't know. It kind of I kind of get where he's coming from, and it's kind of a neat rebuke and kind of a throwdown. And I love Stevie. He's number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go by the song that captivated the Rolling Stones the same way that the other one I said I was made to love her to capture the Beach Boys. I don't know why I love you, baby. Don't know why I love you. Anyway, that's off the For Once in My Life record. Really a surprise. The Rolling Stones, not too long after that, turns up on the Metamorphosis record. Turns out to be one of the best songs that they did. And this is a great song. It fits the Rolling Stones. It really does. But it really is one of his best ones too. Now we're getting into just sail over the cloud times. We talked about that period of Marvin Gaye. There's a period of Stevie too. It did it in a different way. Talking about number 3, "Living for the City" of Intervisions. Everybody loves. It may be a little bit of Captain Obvious for you for number 3, but that to me hits a note. Just the striding of it, the sections da 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 da. It's just so melodic. He was so great during that period of time. I mean, when you think of him at his peak of his powers, I think of this period too. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and go on to number 2, and my number 2, and golden lady, I'd like to go there. That's my number 2, man. You're killing me with that one. That's the peak of it. And while we're number 1, we get ready for the emotional rattling to me, the one that hits me the hardest, the one that always did hit me the hardest, the one that when I'll never forget, I bought the album. It was the greatest hits album. It was a musical thing. I put it on. And I remember I was in my room. I was in my room, and Ribbon in the Sky came on. I was like, what is this? To me, it's like the amalgamation of gratitude. It's the amalgamation of faith. It's the amalgamation of everything. It's, I don't know, maybe people know more about it than I did, where it came from. I just think it's transcendent. I think it represents everything that's great about Stevie. And if you're going to line them all up today, it's my number one. It's certainly always going to be in my top 10. But today, I'd put it at number one. So I thank you guys very much for tuning into this thing. As always, please leave your leave your thoughts below. As I said before, we're winding down on our own thing. We'll let you guys know about that. Please leave your list below. Please leave your thoughts below. And we're going to move on to do some other artists here soon. I just wanted to finish up the Stevie thing because this thing had been lingering for so long, and I really didn't want to deal with it because I left a lot of good songs still on the floor. And again, it was hard for me to ferret out, I guess, my things that I like the best versus the things that I should like the best, maybe, or things that people accept as the best. That got in the way a lot in this thing, and I kind of tried to push the things that everybody else aside there. Well, I think some of the stuff, it didn't make it in there. I talked about Sir Duke. I talked about some of these ones that are probably, but you're talking, when you're talking about me, I love the whole side with Too High Ground, and Living for the City and Golden Lady. I mean, that to me, Intervision, that's when I think about the singles. That's to me like the peak time. And it's so much stuff, good stuff was going on then in this area. Steely Dan was hitting it big in their area. And I just remember AM radio was a lot more exciting place at that time. But anyway, please leave your list below. Leave your thoughts below. I'm going to be moving on to some other folks here soon you might be interested in. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for hanging out. And I love you guys to hang out. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Once again, I did at the beginning and didn't say hit the like button. Remember to hit that like button. You gotta say it again. Remember to hit that like button. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a good day and leave your thoughts in your list below. We always appreciate you being here, man. Take care.